Hey guys, it's VT Gamer Girl 11 back with another video, and this is going to be a quick video. I'm going to add this to my channel where I'm just going to do random articles about video games that you guys might be interested in. This one is from BuzzFeed, and it is 25 awesome video games from the 90s you have to play. And I thought this was an interesting article considering I'm kind of a 90s baby. I was born in 87, but I grew up in the 90s. So I just want to go through these games really quick, and you guys can let me know what you think about this in the section below. Let me know if you would like me to continue to do these videos, and you can also suggest articles to me as well to do a video on, and I will look into those as well. So let's get started. Now here it says that they put a required playing list of 90s video games that every kid needs to play, and to find someone under 10 and force them to play these right now. Number 25 is NBA Jam. I played this game a lot when I was a kid. I love it. I still love it. Definitely think that kids should give it a try today, even though they probably won't like it as much because of graphics and stuff like that. But there is one out on the PS3. I don't know if it's out on Xbox 360, but I'm guessing it probably is as well. I have the PS3 version, and that game's also amazing as well. Basically, anything NBA Jam makes is a good game, in my opinion. 24 is Doom. I never really got into Doom as a kid, but when I got older, I started playing it, and I really enjoyed it, so that's definitely a game to check out. I don't know if I'd recommend it to a 10-year-old or not, but that is a game back in the 90s that was extremely popular and controversial, so definitely check that one out as well. 23, Mario Kart 64. All of us that are Mario Kart fans have played this game. It's not my favorite in the Mario Kart series, but it's still a good Mario Kart game. In my opinion, all of the Mario Kart games are good games. Some are better than others, but that's definitely one that you should check out. And I'm not sure if it's on this list because I have not looked through this list yet, but also check out the SNES version as well because that's the classic Mario Kart version, and that's the one I think that everybody should check out before playing the other Mario Kart games if possible. 22, Chrono Trigger. Um, I know. Sadly, I've never played this game, and I would like to have it in my collection, but it's one of those like expensive games, so maybe I'll get lucky one day and run across it somewhere for cheap. I doubt it, but if I do ever run across it for a good deal, I'm gonna pick it up, but that is definitely one that you should play. 21, Contra. I did play this. I didn't play it that much when I was a kid, mainly because I wasn't really allowed to play any games that had like violence and stuff in them, or not necessarily violence, but like anything that involved like weapons and stuff like that. So I never really played this as a kid, but when I became like a teenager, I did play this game and I liked it. So that's definitely one I would recommend for like the teenage crowd. 20, Aladdin. I played this, but I've never played it on Super Nintendo. I've only played it on Genesis, and there's two different versions. The Super Nintendo version is different from the Genesis version. It's the same, storyline and plot and everything, but it's just a different way they go about doing it. It's got awesome music in it. It's a great game. Definitely highly recommend it, and not just the game, but also the movie as well. If you have not seen it, check it out. Number 19, Toe Jam and Earl. This one sadly is one that I really never got into. I played it, but I just never really got into it too much. But it is one of the classics, and you should definitely check it out if you have a Genesis. 18, Battletoads. I don't remember playing this game either. It's one that I want from my collection, but it's one of those that's really expensive, depending on what system you buy it for. But for NES, it's pretty, decently priced. So hopefully I'll run across this one day for cheap somewhere. I would like to play this. I haven't, but I definitely do see this as one of the classics and should be played by kids if you are looking, to play games that were back in the 90s. Rise Star, I actually have this game. It's an awesome game. Definitely recommend it. It's basically, it also comes on, if you don't want, like if you don't have a Genesis, you can buy I think it's called the Sega Mega Collection or the Sonic Mega, no, it's like Sega Mega Collection for PS3 and Xbox 360, and this is one of the games that are on there. So definitely check that out if you do not own a Genesis and want to try that game out. 16, Sonic and Knuckles. Definitely would recommend playing this game as well. Have it in my collection. Great game. 15, Street Fighter 2. Another classic. Great game. Have this in my collection as well. If you like fighting games, you will definitely like this game, so definitely check that out if you haven't already. I think it's funny how they said that if you have a 10-year-old to let them, make them play these games, and then some of these, like Street Fighter 2 down here, it says, like, for 13 or older. But, anyway. 14, Super Smash Brothers. This is kind of a duh. Definitely check it out. I have this game. It's an amazing game. It's basically what started all of these Super Smash Brothers games that we all know and love today. Definitely check this out. Out of all the Super Smash Brothers games, this one is probably my favorite as of now. I have not tried the Wii U version yet, but this one is my favorite out of the ones that I do have. 13, Donkey Kong Country, also a duh and a classic. Not just, I wouldn't just put Donkey Kong Country on here, but I would also put the second one on here as well. Not necessarily the third one, because that kind of went off the plot line a little bit, but definitely check the first two out if you've never played them before. Really awesome game, loved it as a kid. This is one of those games that I literally grew up, and I was spending the night with one of my friends one night, and we basically stayed up all night to beat this game. It was just a memory that I have, and I basically just have a big heart for Donkey Kong Country. Number 12 is Final Fantasy VII. Never been into Final Fantasy games, but I can see how they're classics. I can see how they would recommend that they check it out, but then again, it says 10-year-olds, and down here it's recommended for teens. So, that goes along the lines of how, like, I don't know how to describe it other than there's a lot of 10-year-olds that can be extremely immature because they're 10, and then there's some 10-year-olds that could be more mature and could handle a game like this, but it kind of depends on your kid, I would say, and everybody knows their kids the best. I know I have a 6-year-old sister, and she's not 10 yet, obviously, but I don't know. I think by the time she was 10, I don't think she would be mature enough to understand those type of games, but that's just my opinion. Number 11, Earthworm Jim. I also have this game. I've played it, love it, it's hilarious, definitely would recommend it to play. Number 10, The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. Unfortunately, I don't have this game yet for Nintendo 64. I've been looking for it, have not found it. I did run across a copy one time, but it had like issues with it and it wouldn't play properly and I could never get it to work right. So technically I don't own this game. I want to own this game, but I don't. But definitely would recommend it. Earthbound. God, sorry. Earthbound. I have not played this game yet. I want this game, but I debated whether or not to get this game for my Platinum Reward for Club Nintendo, but I decided to get NES Remix instead. I think the Earthbound one, for the code that they're going to give you on Club Nintendo, is a more like up-to-date version. It's not the Super Nintendo version. It's basically one that was remade for the Wii U. So I would like to get the Super Nintendo version if I ever run across it for a good deal. But I have seen gameplay of this, and I definitely would recommend it. It seems like an awesome game. 8. Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars. Loved this game as a kid, have yet to add it back to my collection, but really want to add it back to my collection, but then it's another one of those games that's kind of expensive in price. I'm thinking about downloading this from 99gamers.com. People's got the digital code for it. I'm thinking about doing that, but I would like to have the physical copy myself, but definitely would recommend it. Number 7, Super Metroid. Also an awesome game. Don't have it, but like to have it in my collection. Yeah, I would definitely recommend this game as well. For some reason they put the PAL version on here. It's kind of funny. 6, Metal Gear Solid. I have this game. I'm not a big Metal Gear Solid fan, but I can see how they would recommend this series because it is kind of a classic series. But then again, if you look at the game, it's for mature rating, so I wouldn't recommend this for a 10-year-old, but I can see how they have it on the classic list. 5, Castlevania. Love this game. Again, this is another one of those games I never really played until I got older, but when I did play it, I loved it. so definitely would recommend this one. 4, Super Mario 64. Now everybody's gonna hate me, but this is not one of my favorite Mario games. I would recommend that you play it because it is Super Mario, and in my opinion, every Super Mario game you should try out and play because they're all good games. This one is just not one of my favorites out of the group, but it's still a good game and definitely would recommend it to play. Mega Man X. I would recommend Mega Man. I'm just not a very big fan of Mega Man, but I can see how that would be in the classic list because Mega Man, as everybody knows, has lasted for a long time now and is very popular. So definitely check it out. It might be for you. Sonic 2. This is another one of those duh. It's a classic game. Should check it out. Awesome game. And not just check out Sonic 2, but check out the first one, the second one, the third one, and like they already mentioned, Sonic and Knuckles. And not just those, but also Sonic Spinball and Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. And I'm pretty sure that's all of them. If I'm missing one, let me know. But check out like the whole Sonic series for Genesis. There's also like a Sonic 3D Blast that I have, but that game kind of sucks in my opinion. But all the other ones are really good. So check out the Sonic series, not just the second one, but all of them. And then number 1, Super Mario World. Definitely check this game out. I'm pretty sure everybody knows what this game is, but definitely check it out. It's an awesome game. This was one of the ones that I got with my Super Nintendo when I was a kid when I first got it, and I played this game like for hours and hours and hours, fighting all the secrets and stuff to it. This was one of the first games that I beat as a kid, and it just has a special place in my heart. Definitely recommend it. Again, it's a Mario game. You will never go wrong with buying any Mario game, in my opinion. So definitely check that out if you have not checked that out before, which I know most of the people that have watched my videos have probably already checked all of these out, but definitely if you haven't, or if you have a kid that hasn't played some of these yet, give them a controller, sit them down and be like, hey, check these classic games out. Again, some of these I wouldn't recommend, but others are great games for kids, and I have great memories from them myself as a kid. And that's one good thing about gaming, I think, back in the 90s, is the way games are made and just the amount of games that were made and the type that they were. You kind of have nostalgia for them and you're really never going to forget them. I'm not sure if that'll happen so much nowadays with stuff being more digital and, stuff like that. More people seem to want the new system and just forget about the older systems, or kids nowadays do anyway. So definitely, if you have a kid near you, if you want to get them into gaming, I would recommend starting them out with the classic games and then moving them up to the more advanced games. A lot of the classic games are more kid friendly, so definitely check that out if you have a kid. Let's see if there's any comments. There's some comments down here, and I'll just read a couple of them. One of them said, "So happy Rystar got to mention me too." And this person says, you gotta add Zombies Ate My Neighbors, Chrono Trigger, which they did mention, Killer Instinct, Mortal Kombat 2, Super Baseball 2020. Okay, I don't really see that, but TNMT in Time, Ian Hander, I don't know what they mean by that, I've never heard of that. Road Rash 2, and Super Ghouls and Ghost. And let's see. Read a couple more. This person put the cheat code for Contra. Up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, start, select, start. And we'll read 2 more, and then I'm gonna run out of time. Super Metroid for SNES. That game was and still is awesome. Thank goodness for emulators. Now, my opinion, I'm not a big fan of emulators. I would rather play it on the actual system. This one I agree with. Banjo-Kazooie was my crack addiction as a small child. Also Mischief Makers, but that game totally kicked my ass. I don't know what Mischief Makers is, but Banjo-Kazooie, in my opinion, should have been on this list as well. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know it's a different type of video, but I just figured I'd add it to my channel. Let me know what your guys' favorite games were to play in the 90s and what you think should have been on this list as well. Always love to read your comments, so thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.